There we go. So yeah, I got the house.
Great.
I have not seen it, but
So when are you moving?
it will be I'll be leaving here around July 1st. So another 5 weeks. But a busy 5 weeks. I've got a lot of family coming out because my son's graduating. So they're gonna have to do an empty packed house. So we have to pack everything and getting rid of things and then I have a conference to go to that I have to go to, I can't get out of, and then come back and jump in a car and drive to the other side of the country. It should be fun.
Yeah, should be.
I might have to skip a few sessions. So
yeah,
I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So when you get there, so how far is gonna be your work? Are you gonna work from home or you're gonna?
I'll start by working from home and then I'll probably set up an office myself. So I'll probably set it up 15, 20 minutes from the office or from my home. But maybe in a few months. Yeah. So it's I mean, it's a very isolated area with a lot of land and a lot of forest. Did I show you it at all?
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
You did show me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a house. I'll draw a picture. It's like a house, and then like it's like the driveway, and then there's a rim of forest around the house.
Okay.
So that belongs to us. You know, it's part of the land. So I can build things out in the forest and go meditate and hang out with the trees and that kind of stuff. I'm really excited. Yeah.
Oh, great. And about the wildlife is
Hmm?
the wildlife is around. Wildlife.
Wildlife.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really know. You know, when I lived in North Carolina as a kid, I mean, I just remember the forests quite a bit. There's a lot of waterfalls, which are really nice in very isolated areas. And, you know, maybe a few hours away, a few hours drive, there's mountains with bears. Yeah, I definitely remember black bears, huge, whatever, 1,500-pound black bears. As a kid, you know, you'd be able to see it, and they, you know, they didn't attack you or anything, but they would be there. I mean, if you had any food, they would definitely, like, you know, rip your car open and get your food, but they weren't too interested in people. Yeah, I don't know about what wildlife is there. I'll have to see. But we've got lots of land to garden. You know, my wife will be gardening, and I'm looking forward to building things, building lots of shelves for books and records. And I want to build a little deck in the woods for meditation and that kind of thing. Yeah. We'll grow our own food. Sure would be nice if you could come out and stay with us.
That would be great.
Think about coming to the United States at all?
Yeah, I once thought about it. Yeah, I once thought about it, but you know, I'm willing to go wherever life puts its character. If life decides to make this character to go to the States, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to happen. So I can't resist.
Well, I don't think it would be too hard to get a GoFundMe together or something with the group that Michael's group. Everybody pitch in $100 or something. Of course, everybody's all over the country, so they pitched in the money. They wouldn't necessarily get to see you. When they were all in LA, it was one thing, but big country. Yeah,
it is.
be nice. So there hasn't been any other floods, has there? You are doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. But last weekend there was there's another flood.
Oh,
Last weekend started on Saturday in the morning until Sunday afternoon. So it seems like it's a routine that's every Saturday, every weekend. But this one, the last one, it wasn't too serious. It wasn't like the other one. This one was like a bit lighter, but yeah, it made some, it caused some damage to other roads, some houses, and there were landslide as well on this one. So
no bridges out or?
no bridges, just landslides and damaged road, huge hole in the road, on the road.
Oh, sinkhole probably. Yeah.
Something like that.
I like that shirt. Is that a new shirt?
No, it's very old. It's very old. I bought it back in 2016 or 2017. Yeah, it's very old. It's very old. So, did you meet with the guys?
Yeah, we just talked an hour this time. It just always goes so fast, you know. It was a nice meditation, a nice conversation, and then all of a sudden it was over. Such a great bunch of guys, though. There's been one woman who's been joining us occasionally, but mainly guys. I don't know if she's yeah, I mean, I think she might be I don't know, I guess maybe I should say, but yeah, Corey showed up, and that's always a lot of fun. There's a guy named Aja who's just really intense. He does his own sort of teaching on Saturdays. He's from Hawaii. He just sort of lies there and radiates, and it's a very, very good. Everyone has a lot of respect for each other, you know, a lot of warmth, a lot of thankfulness in the call. It's really nice. Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, I think last time we spoke about space, if I remember.
There was a recording that we did called Space that someone came back and said a lot of nice things about. Maybe that's what you're thinking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I remember that one.
You know, I should do a better job of naming these things. I just they just have an automatic name. But if I give them a name from something that you've said while we're talking, people are probably more likely to listen and go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's neat. Each of them has got about a dozen listens so far, people dipping in and looking at them. So that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. and very good. They are very nice videos. But there's this one that the sound wasn't quite clear. The other one, I don't remember which one was it, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it took a while for me to get it down right. I was recording it from some application outside of what we were doing. And sometimes I didn't work. So now doing it. I'm using my own Zoom account and recording it from within the Zoom account. So that works a lot better. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
I sort of liked it when your voices were all messed up. So ricocheting around and with your accent, it just sounded couldn't really figure out what you were saying, but it sounded like it was coming from the sky.
This so-called African accent.
I'm sorry, what?
It's
You went
very
out for
African accent.
African accent, yes.
Yeah, it's very strong. You know, we usually pronounce word in like, because we're used to speaking Zulu, so Zulu has some strong words. So
Your accent is very light to me. I don't hear it really, just every once in a while. But there is, I guess, what they call it, Afrikaan. There's some sort of South African special kind of slang English, they say, Afrikaners or something. I don't know. Yeah, some people I can't understand at all from South Africa. Then a lot of the white people, I can never tell the difference between South Africans and Australians and New Zealanders, They all have sort of a similar, and then if you get it wrong, everyone is always offended. Oh, I thought you were from New Zealand. Oh, I'm from Australia.
yeah,
I met somebody at a conference that was from South Africa randomly in December, and I decided to tell them about you. that there was a strong spiritual tradition in South Africa. They thought that was a good thing. Yeah.
there is. So most of the people are very religious. Yeah, they're very religious. Believe in the Bible.
Mainly Christian?
Yeah, there are many Christians and there are many as well those who believe in like traditional, there's the traditional religion. With ancestors, my father passed away. My late mother, my late grandpa, believe in the ancestors. There are a lot of those people as well. So it's a diversity.
I was really surprised when I went to Tanzania for the first time. I think I told you that guy who ripped me off, who took me around and with the different tribes, with the Muslim and then Hindu and then Christian, being in different neighborhoods and different styles of dress and everything.
Yeah, I remember.
Very surprised by that. So many Indian people too, Lots of Indian people in South Africa too, or?
Yeah, especially in Durban, there are lots of Indians.
That's good.
Sell a lot of spices. A lot of Indians in Durban.
Yeah, Indian food is amazing.
It is.
Yeah, it's like my favorite food.
Do you know the one they call it Brian? Brian.
I don't think so. Briam?
Yeah, It's very nice. It's an Indian food. Yeah, it's a mixture of rice, some spices, and the curry, and yeah, it's very nice. So, where do we start?
Right now.
Yeah,
Start how? Never start, never finish. Nothing to start, nothing to finish.
that's
Nothing.
good. That's good. Yeah, this is really amazing. This, whenever the character finds itself in some very difficult or complicated situation, and then there's always, there's always a way out, just to get back to its source and remain there. And so many people, like especially those who usually commit suicide, you know, they they usually think that there is no way out. There's just, it's a thought that says, I'm trapped in this body and I'm facing this problem and there's no way out. Then I'm gonna kill myself. Of which that's just an imagination. It's just an imagination. Because the true identity, your true identity or the source is everywhere present. It's not only in the body. You are in the body and everywhere present at the same time. You're not only in the body. So you're just spaciousness that imagines itself to be the body. And then that's how you play. That's why many times they call it's a play. They call it a play of Maya, because this boundless energy, in a way, it happens that it dreams itself as an individual who's doing things, and then it seems, because of the belief, it seems if what seems to be an individual is real. But when it is seen that it's not real, it is recognized that this, an individual never even existed. It has always been this boundless energy appearing to be an individual. So I can say that this is just a play. This is just a play. This is a movie. It's more like a movie. It doesn't really need to be taken seriously. So it's beautiful just the way it is.
It's one of my biggest fears that my kids would decide to go out like that.
Yeah.
It's hard not to be afraid of that.
Yeah.
Around and getting caught in their egos.
Yeah.
But try to reorient my perspective to think, okay, well, maybe that's just me over there.
Yeah.
And if that does happen, then that energy is just released and goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
And to not own that.
Yeah.
It's hard to not own that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like imagined that it's just you over there. It's just what is.
Yeah.
It's just there. Even when it seems it's not like that, but it's always like that. Sometimes the character, this spaciousness, boundless energy identifies with the character, and it seems so very real. That's why sometimes at times you may find people defending themselves. Like they don't want to to be humiliated. They defend like this character, their character a lot because they take this character very seriously, and it's the only thing that is real. And the life as well, they take it to be a real thing. But when it is seen that it's just, it's not even there. The story is not even there. And the one who seems to take, herself seriously is not even there. It's such a great relief.
Do you ever feel consciousness watching you? Do you ever feel like a space, a sense that it's seeing the space of Nkosi, even if it's just watching yourself?
Yeah. Okay. But what I can say is that, before it used to feel like, before there was that feeling that I'm in this body, used to feel like it used to feel very, very heavy. Everything seemed to be real, like it's here. I can see it, and I'm here too. It felt like that, but now it's more. How can I put it? It's more like space. The body feels like space, walking through space.
Yeah, but I'm
Space.
sort of talking about something else. I'm talking about, for me, at different times in my life, I can spot different times, even before any sort of spiritual maturity. Right, walking through a forest, when the snow is falling, looking out in the ocean, or whatever. That's sometimes where it just feels like you're being watched. Like you're being watched by God. That's the only way I can put it. I'm sure it's a communal, finally relaxing, putting the ego aside or something, but it really feels like specifically like being watched. And now too, when I'm in a nice state of meditation or something, I feel a presence, in a way that really does feel like someone's staring at you from behind. You sometimes turn around and someone's looking at you.
Yeah, I understand.
Feels like you're being watched by nature, and that's a real feeling. It's real.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, and maybe it's all one mind or whatever, but I wonder if I am being watched, or if it's a projection,
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you are watching yourself,
Sure.
because
No,
I remember when
go ahead.
there was this detachment. One of the glimpses that I used to have, there was once a detachment, like from the body. I could see the body from here and see like taking decisions, going up and down, moving, just I could see that I'm not the character at the time. I'm watching the character. I was that space watching the character doing, you know. Eh, eh, Have you ever have you ever had one of those glimpses where you're just here watching?
I've had it from here, you know,
Mm,
I've had the feeling from here that that my body's automatic and that my decisions and my words and everything is automatic. And it's um, beyond any sort of decision, and that there's a presence in here, and that the real is beyond that mechanical playing out of stuff. But I've never had it observed from behind or whatever.
yeah.
But there's a quote by Meister Eckhart. He says, the eye with which I see God is the eye with which God sees me. It's the same eye.
Beautiful.
And that's what you're saying too. But I wonder if that sensation of being watched, being felt, is a side effect of something I'm pushing out there and observing. You know what I mean? An appreciation, a symbiotic appreciation. I don't know. I guess I don't know if God has consciousness. Of course, I'll never know. And what is God? It's a word, right? But that element of consciousness is I was just wondering what you thought about that. Does God have consciousness?
Yeah, God is everything at once. I don't know if I put it right. God is everything. God is everything. So that includes consciousness, spaciousness, everything that seems to appear is God. God has no specific location. God is everywhere,
Right.
everywhere. God cannot be, no one can point to God because God is everything. If there were to be someone who's pointing, where will that someone be if God is everywhere? Wouldn't it be also God?
Yeah.
So
The pointer, the air between the finger and what's being pointed at, everything.
yes, just everything.
It's like you said, in fact, there's nothing ever moves.
Yeah,
Took me a while to
exactly.
actually figure out what you were saying, to feel that. It's like, oh, nothing can ever move. There's just one thing.
Exactly.
Thing.
Nothing can stick out on its own. No, it's just one thing. So it may seem as if there's movement, but there's no movement because there's no space in between. There's just everything together. So that is always seen. So whatever may happen, it doesn't really matter because everything is just an expression of God. God is everything. So that's why I always say there's no escape. There's no escape. It's God dreaming himself to be an individual and also dreams further about other individuals. But it's just a dream. It's just a dream. It's not real. You don't have a location. You don't have a center. Center is just an appearance. You are everywhere. The thing that makes it seem as if there is a center is because of the program that was imposed when that boy was very young. It seemed to be the program that said, you are a human being, but when you eliminate, try to like forget about that. You know, I remember when I used to do some exercises, some practices before. I would say, I'm not a human being. I'm not a man. I was never born, and I will never die. I used to repeat that over and over again. And there were glimpses as well because of that, because I was like trying to erase the program, because the program is sometimes it's too strong.
Yeah.
It used to be too strong, you know. Because it's the program that makes it seem as if really you are this character and you are real, of which is not true. It's not true at all. You are space, you're more like space that is boundless.
So Nisargadatta says you should repeat, I am. Just repeat, I am over. Feel it. I think it's so that you eventually see the I that is. You say I am and look for the I that is. And the I that isn't drops away, I guess.
Yeah.
Same thing.
You mean I am without words?
No, I think you're supposed to say with words. You just repeat it
Words.
over and over again. I am. I am. And then it's, you know, when you say it, it's like just for a millisecond, the I that is reflected back in your words, right? And you say that again, and then you just eventually sort of find it in anything that isn't the I am that you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Pure energetic consciousness. So instead of I'm not this, I'm not that. So you said, I'm not a human being, I'm not a man. And then what was the other one?
I'm not a body.
I'm not a body.
Was never born.
I was never born, I'll never die again. That's the other thing he says. He says, find who you were born, find who you were before you were born.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also makes that the imagination to dissipate, because what seems to be the character when he says find out who you were before you were born, that leads to nothing, because yeah, it leads to nothingness. Because how really can you find out who you were before you were born? How is it possible?
Well, I think it also leads, it does that, but at the same time, it leads exactly to what you said, which is,
Yeah.
I was never born and I will never die, right?
Exactly. Because
Who were
what
you
seems to be
before?
the character?
Right.
Yeah. what seems to be the character, it always looks for objects to hold on to. But when you say, just look at the space, don't look at the objects. Look at the space between the objects. And then it leaves that, it leaves it with nothing to grasp, to hang on to, then it just dissipates. Because when you look at the space, there's nothing to talk about. When you look at the space, there's nothing interesting to talk about. Because when you look at objects, you always have something to say. That's all. It's beautiful. Oh, that's table. I like it. Oh, I like that car. But when you watch space, there's nothing to say there. Then automatically it dissipates. It just falls away. Because there's nothing interesting anymore to talk about. So watching space can also be a good exercise for nobody. Because there's that tendency to look at the space and say, oh, there's nothing there. But really, the space itself is not empty. Or should I say it's empty and full at the same time? It's empty and full. It's not just space that is dead space, it's nothing, it's just full of life. It's spacious, it's aliveness, it's very alive.
There was a physicist about 100 years ago. The nature of space is a huge question, like the actual what is space and how to conceive of space directs a lot of math. And there was confusion about it, and there was errors, and he came up with the idea of walking in the woods, one day in Germany, something like that. He came up with the idea that space is thick and constantly and alive. And he came up with the idea that that there was constantly things coming in and out of space, and there was a medium that had to be considered as a viscous medium when you're thinking about all of the astrological calculations that you do and all the minute calculations that they do, which is something something that people didn't. So then he died, and before they could prove it. But what they did, they've proved it. They've proved that things just appear out of nothing. One of the things they do is they put two huge metal plates together. It's like really, really close. Press them together, and the space between them will not be squished. And things will pop out and they can detect it on the metal plates, that there's actual things all the time popping in and out of space everywhere, all the time, the subatomic level.
There are things that are popping out of space.
Yeah.
When you look, when it's very sunny outside, and then you go outside and just try to look out of focus. Don't look at the things around. Just look at the space itself. There are some objects like lights going around, moving around. So little. Have you ever seen that?
Yes. Yeah. teeming with stuff.
Exactly.
Everything is teeming with stuff.
Yeah. It's very alive.
Yeah.
It's alive. Some they even decide to stop eating food and drinking water and just receive what they call cosmic energy. Just feed on the sunlight every morning. Yeah, some they can even do that. They can even do that, and the body never dies. Just keeps on feeding on the sunlight. They call it prana. Some.
Yeah.
It's very wonderful.
Do you do breathing exercises?
No.
Used to?
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to do that. Even
Did it
watch
help?
space between thoughts. Watch space between thoughts. I used to do that as well. Yeah, I must say it gives what seems to be the character some glimpses. But you know, to just to like cut the very long story short, just to simply recognize that already, even before you can even do some steps and some practices, already the character is not there.
No
I mean,
bridges for Nkosi. Nkosi shall accept no bridges. I have to say,
yeah,
your message, your radical message, when you first said it on Michael's meeting was it took me a while, but eventually it did slap me upside the face. Because I mean, it's like Nisargadatta and others say, if you give yourself time, it'll take forever.
yeah.
If you give yourself any time, it'll take forever. And I think that's not true for a lot of people. I think a lot of people need to relax, need to breathe, need to contemplate the space between thoughts, but at some point, a lot of us are probably pretty ripe for your message, and no more time is needed.
Yes. Yes. Because in the midst of searching, the midst of looking, when it seems as if there is a character who's searching, there is no character already. There is no character already. So when it is seen or when it is recognized that there's just this, now we are able to view, to see if there's someone who thinks that is searching, is not yet there. We're able to see that it's just wholeness. Everything is wholeness. Even that one is whole and complete. So there's nothing to be done. A person, what seems to be an individual, may say that, oh, but I'm not yet there. And it is always immediately recognized that there's just a thought appearing in this. There's no one to be there or not there. It's just this. So there's nowhere to go.
And another thing that you say right then in that conversation a lot is, and this doesn't mind. There's no escape, and this doesn't mind.
Yes. Doesn't mind what is being said.
Doesn't mind what's being said, doesn't mind whether you notice it or not, whether you think you notice it or not, whether you're lost in the character,
Yeah.
whether you kill yourself.
It doesn't even worry about people being misled, because there are no people. It's just itself. A worry that someone is being misled doesn't arise, because really it's just this. Everything is this. Everything is wholeness. So where is that one who's being misled? Is there someone outside who's being misled? And then who is misleading? There's no one here. It's just everything. Everything appearing to be different characters. You know, at times, I would say when you talk, everything is talking. Because it is seen like that. It's not every opinion that seems to come up there. It's just whole universe, even beyond talking. So it's like wholeness is talking to itself, helping itself.
Subverting itself,
Yeah,
destroying its.
yeah. Everything is beautiful. Everything is beautiful, and everything is already nameless. Names are just projections. There are no names. There are no names. A tree, a mango tree, doesn't know that it's a mango tree. Doesn't even know it's a tree. It's a tree. It's just there. It's just there. It's not waiting for a rain to come. It's not waiting for a sunlight. It's not looking for anything interesting. It's not looking for fireworks. It's just there, as it is. So that's how this is. It's just here, with no expectation, no waiting, no desire. Just here. There's nothing. Love may seem to arise in it. Peace, joy, anger, frustration. But it's not that there's somebody who's frustrated or angry or who's feeling love. It's just what seems to be appearing in nothingness. So this at times may seem to suggest practices that this should do this and that and that and that, but that's just part of the play. It's not that it's not to get somewhere. It's just playing along with the characters, and it's beautiful. Sometimes, it is seen that the journey itself, this may seem to enjoy the journey of going somewhere. I'm getting there, I'm getting there. It's very enjoyable sometimes. That's why many so-called characters, they seem to enjoy, like, I'm about to get there. You know, sometimes this may suggest that it's okay. It may do this and that for you too, because even that one is very beautiful as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even to say there's no journey, it's beautiful. Even to say, okay, you can do this and that and that and that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, because everything is this. Even what seems to be the journey is this already. So there's no wrong or right here. There's no misleading. No one can ever be misled. No one can teach this. No one can talk about this, because all there is this. If there seem to be a misleading going on, then who is being misled? Because there's no one here. There's just wholeness, boundless energy. So anything may be said here, but it doesn't really matter. So you're already there even before you take the first step. Even before the thought appears that says, I need to, you're already there.
I need to go. My wife is waiting for me, and my daughter's calling, and my mother's waiting for me. All three.
Yeah, very nice.
They're all me.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'll upload this. Thank you, Nkosi.
You're welcome.
Talk to you next week.
Definitely.